accidentally exposed his secret. His revenge left me speechless. Hello, Reddit guys. My name is Sarah, and I am 33 years old. I have been married for 4 years to James, who is also the same age as I am. And he is the husband every woman would dream of. But you will see, that was not enough for me. So here I am telling you the story of how I cheated on my husband and then accidentally exposed his secret that would lead to a revenge that would not only leave me speechless, but would also destroy my life. So, like I said, James was a good husband. He was stable, responsible, and predictable. We had our routine and he had a good life. But it's true when they say that comfort isn't passion and stability isn't love, at least not that kind of love that would make your heart race fast. Maybe you are wondering if it has always been like that. No. We had this great big passion and that kind of love that would make my heart skip a beat. James and I met in college. We were both studying business administration. While I was the spontaneous girl, he was the one that had everything planned always. He was the man with a vision for his future. And at first, I admired that about him. He was ambitious and visionary. So yeah, our relationship was very beautiful and passionate. After we finished college, he started his career in finance. Soon enough, he climbed the corporate ladder with precision. I, on the other hand, pursued marketing. I started working for an advertising firm that thrived on creativity and spontaneity, just like I wanted it. I was the creative and spontaneous type of girl. I had always been like that. Meanwhile, he was planning his life in detail. Somewhere along the way, our paths got divided, and I don't mean that physically. We still lived in our beautiful apartment together, but spiritually. We were living together just like two strangers sharing the apartment. We didn't communicate, or we didn't do anything together, like going on dates, cooking, taking a walk, or other things that a normal couple may normally do. This all happened because James wanted to plan everything, and I wanted to live. I often suggested to him that we take a trip together, or go on a picnic, or to the cinema together, but he was always too busy fighting to get a promotion, which seemed to be more important than me and our marriage. I was really hurt at that time and heartbroken. I was not feeling seen anymore, and I was not even feeling loved. I tried to tell him this, but he didn't listen and told me that I was always complaining for nothing. He told me that any other woman would love to be in my place, but I didn't appreciate it. I was ungrateful for the position, the apartment, and the economic situation he was offering me. I wanted to say many things to him at that moment, but words didn't come out of my mouth, and tears started falling. I couldn't control them. He started getting distant, and I couldn't control it. I seemed to find no way to explain his behavior. I continued thinking that he was behaving like that just because of his job and the promotion he was aiming to get. Anyway, life kept going like that. I hated that situation, and I tried talking to him again. I wanted a family, and I thought that a baby would transform us into a real family and would also get his attention. I thought about it as a solution, but not only that, I wanted a baby. To me, it was time to have a baby. So I organized a date between the two of us. It was our anniversary. He was also all sweet and romantic that night. He bought a ring and roses, and he told me he loved me no matter what. He said that life had been difficult and success didn't come easy. That is why he needed to work hard for us and our family. So when he started talking about family, I asked him if maybe we should start thinking about having a baby. He was smiling, and it was like he was waiting for that. In my thoughts, I went back in time, and I started diving back into the time when we were just some young lovers talking about our future and how many babies we were going to have. He always said that he wanted to have 4 babies, 2 boys and 2 girls. So here we were, thinking about starting to have a baby and building our little beautiful family, a baby that was going to be a fruit of our love. So yeah, that night it felt like we got back what we were losing. I had the feeling that our passion was coming back, and it made me feel happy. That night was the start of other happy days. We started trying to get pregnant and have a baby, starting a family. I never thought we would have problems. We kept trying for 6 months, guys. After that, I started getting stressed and sad and wondering why it was not happening. Maybe I had a problem? Well, we decided to visit a doctor and see what the problem was, if there was any problem. Also, my husband was very stressed, not just because of me, but because of his job too. He was trying to get that promotion, and he was everything but not focused on me anymore. He was acting like he had given up the idea of having a child, but finally, he agreed to come with me and see a doctor. The doctor told us to have some exams done that would find out if either of us had a problem with infertility. I couldn't even imagine one of us being infertile. So yeah, we did the examination, and guess what? The unimaginable happened. My husband was infertile. Both of us got very sad, and life was not the same anymore. Again, we were swimming in unknown waters, and we were losing the connection. The problem didn't make us get closer, but instead it drove us apart. James, my husband, asked me not to speak to anyone about his problem. He was very sad, and he also told me that I would be better off continuing my life without him because I deserved better. But I loved him no matter what, so I decided to stay with him, and maybe we would find a way to have a baby. Also, I agreed not to tell his secret to anyone. So life continued as if nothing was wrong, which was totally wrong. We didn't communicate about our problems. We didn't spend time with each other. James was always busy with his job and working late, even on weekends, and I started spending more time out with my friends and colleagues. I was trying to fill my free time with activities, so going out was one of them. I really tried to talk to James and make him understand that we were together, but at the same time, it was like we were not together, and we had to work on that so we could save our marriage. Every time I tried to do that, he was like, "Nothing is wrong. We have a good life. We are both working, and with time, we will have more time and possibilities to stay together." But nothing seemed to get better no matter how much I tried. Until one day, again the unexpected happened. James's friend, Daniel, started working at the same company that I was working for. Daniel was everything that James was not. He was unpredictable, spontaneous, and very handsome. The first time I remember seeing Daniel, I was surprised and happy to see him at the office. He became a part of my work life from that day forward, something I found myself looking forward to day by day. He had a very vibrant personality that helped make the daily grind much easier to deal with, and those moments became something to look forward to. Daniel was the sort of guy who could pack a room with flirtation and quips. He could always say exactly the right thing, no matter what was happening. He brought light and joy to everything he touched. I knew him through my husband because he had been a close childhood friend, and they had continued their friendship over the years. But it was clear that however much time they had together had shrunk in the past few weeks because James had been putting all the hours he could into work. It was like James had lost his connection to the world, and he was only thinking about his job. Then after that night, Daniel and I were always together at work. We found any possible excuse to work together and spend time together. Can you imagine we even had sex at my office or his office? Oh, it was so exciting. I know I am going to be judged a lot for doing this, and I regret it, but it would be a lie if I told you that I did not enjoy it, because I did enjoy it a lot. But I had become so steeped in the life I had created that without realizing it, I was leading a double life. Every time that I went back home, guilt crept down my back, a persistent reminder of the double life I was living. I didn't even have the courage to look into my husband's eyes for fear that he would see through the facade that I had been building. Shame wrapped around me, a cloak to carry wherever I went. But through all the emotional situations, I just couldn't leave what I had with Daniel. With him, it was real and alive, unlike the deadness of my marriage. We had a good time in those lovely secret meetings, and the thought of swapping that thrill for the ordinary made a confusing wreck inside me. I struggled so hard with the idea that my choices weren't just putting my marriage at risk. They were putting my credibility at risk. But resisting the siren call of one life on two sides of the law, sandwiched between the comfort of my husband's love and the tasty temptations Daniel offered, wasn't easy. Every day was like I was living between a nightmare, hell, and paradise. I know how much I'm going to be judged, but I am here to be honest, and that is what I will do. I will tell the story just like it is and just like it happened because I need no more lies. So I will accept now to be judged, as I know I deserve it very much. I deserve all the bad words that I am sure you will throw at me, and I will accept them, knowing I am now trying to be a better person. Let me go on with my story now because it is much longer than you may imagine. Daniel and I continued our sordid affair, but, as months passed, we became less and less careful about our hidden trysts. At first, we played it cool, meeting in curated moments and curated spaces, but the hunger we had for one another somehow found us rendezvousing frequently in the office. The thrill of our infidelity crackled with electricity, and little by little, we established a close relationship with the voyeurism of hotel rooms, and largely the hush of his apartment. My husband's work obligations dictated the choice of the apartment mostly. He was rarely around, too busy to make any time for me anyway, and I was stuck here, having this affair and personally guilty related to his presence. But out of my earshot, my husband had started noticing some changes in behavior. He's perceptive, and he saw when I started to pull away. At home, I got sloppy, letting down my phone and leaving it within reach. What I didn't know was that the same device I used to communicate with Daniel was also a potential backdoor into my secret life. You were talking about those most private and naked things in your life, and suddenly you never erased them. We were at an exchange of typewritten thoughts and feelings, nudes and sexy shots that pertained as much to the pheromones in the air between us as to the naked bodies that would eventually be revealed to one another. Daniel sent back photos of us in those hotel rooms, snapshots that validated our casual trysts and the restlessness tinged with lust that ignited between us. And these photographs were more than snapshots. They were keepsakes of a passionate affair predicated on the excitement of the hidden and the temptation of the forbidden. As we got to know each other better, though, and our lives continued to intertwine, we crossed lines, blurring friendship with a much messier, deeper relationship. In hindsight, those days are a reminder of how trust and fidelity are so easily challenged in the name of desire. What started as harmless flirting developed into an affair that nearly destroyed my whole life. Even in the office, almost everyone noticed that we had something more than friendship, and it was something more than a work relationship. No one said anything because they didn't have any proof, not yet. But I didn't stop to think about what they were thinking. I was too busy enjoying my affair with Daniel. I stopped thinking and resonating about what would happen with my life. While I was living my double life, my husband had inserted a voice recorder in every room of our apartment. This detail was something that I was going to find out later, while I was thinking that he was being careless and that he never noticed me as we were now living in the same home, but as some strangers that were just sharing an apartment. He never asked me any questions because he had been investigating my behavior and my affair with his childhood friend. Little did I know about all those things going on. That would be the most awful surprise I would ever have. He had found out everything, but he was too smart to confront me right away. Instead, guess what he did? He waited, and he investigated everything. He gathered evidence, and he trapped me. I guess you are all wondering what he did, so I will explain, step by step, how he obtained my phone. It was a wise move on his part. He took the opportunity when I least expected it. He read and took screenshots of my conversations with Daniel, using those intimate snippets of my life as ammunition in a nasty revenge game. The desire was clearly malicious. His goal was to make sure that everybody could see what my true face looks like, the one that he knew was lurking behind the mask of a liar. In revealing these personal details, he tried to create a caricature of me that did not exist. He was ready to risk everything, to ruin my reputation, not only in my social circles, but in my job as well. The consequences of his actions were mind-blowing. He was, to be honest, determined to destroy everything about my life as I knew it. The stakes were through the roof, and the emotional price was heavy. In a new era where credibility and trust were everything, he was about to destroy all the good I had created. He did that. And to be honest, I know I deserved that for everything that I did to him and to us. His plan was carried out with an unsettling exactness that made me feel violated and naked. Yet it was also a decision that was fully planned in advance, an act that left a mark on future events and demonstrated how bloodthirsty some can be when revenge is on the line. That was the time when I had to live with the stains of my torn image because of his cruel acts that revealed the ugly truth of cheating and lies. Also, I know you might be wondering if I ever considered getting pregnant with Daniel. I didn't, guys. I didn't because I didn't want to destroy my marriage, which I actually did. And on the other hand, Daniel was also married, and he had a daughter. She was 2 years old. Yes, I know you will judge me even more now, but what is done, and I don't have the power to turn back time. I can't change anything now. What is done. Not only did I get divorced, but I also destroyed my own life and Daniel's family. The revenge of James started after a very important point in our lives when I revealed my husband's secret, which was his infertility. It happened while my husband had organized a dinner for our families at a restaurant for his birthday, and let's specify that he knew everything at this point. Firstly, he got mad because I was late for the dinner, and he was right because imagine you all, it was my husband's birthday and everyone was already there except for me. I guess you all know where I was. I was with Daniel having sex at his office while everyone had left the office. We said we would work late on a very important project. Leaving the office, and while I was in a hurry to get to the restaurant, I couldn't help but feel very guilty for what I was doing. but I didn't give Daniel up. On the other hand, while he was having sex with me, his wife and daughter were waiting for him at home. The thing was so messed up. We both were destroying our families just for the passion we were experiencing. Anyway, on my way to the restaurant, I got a message from my husband telling me, "Are you having a good time with Daniel, and is that why you can't come to my birthday?" Oh my God. I started trembling, and I was about to get involved in an accident. I was wondering how I could show up to his birthday knowing he knew everything. I had to go no matter what, so I stopped the car for a moment just to put myself together, which seemed an impossible thing to do at that moment. But I tried. When I got there, I was not feeling like myself. As soon as I said hi to everyone, James said, "You seem to be very late, dear wife. Was it some other handsome guy there at the office?" And he smiled. I was shocked, and I didn't know what to say. I had lost my mind, and I just said some words without even thinking about them. "Yes, dear husband, I was busy with someone who could get me pregnant, since you can't because of your infertility." Everyone was shocked, and I don't know how I did that, but since I thought he was going to reveal my secret, I revealed his secret first. He got up and went out while telling me I was going to regret everything that I had done. I couldn't believe that I did that. As soon as he got out, I went after him, telling him I was sorry, but he said that he didn't want to hear me anymore, and he was going to go away for some days because he wanted to clear his mind. But he knew everything about Daniel. He knew that I cheated with him with his friend, but I didn't know that he was going away because he was planning his revenge on me. The days he was away, he did everything. He destroyed my life in every aspect of it. So while he was away, he took every penny from our joint account as the first thing to do. How did I find out? I found it out after I got fired from my job because my husband sent an envelope with all the pictures of me and Daniel together, which revealed our affair, so we both got fired. After that, I went to the bank. I wanted some money to organize a trip and put my thoughts together, but then I saw I had no money. I was so shocked and angry, and I don't know how to put into words what I was feeling. Guess what he did next? He sent that kind of envelope to all of my friends and my family. He destroyed my reputation and all my relationships. I was left with nothing. Well, I got the house until he came back with the divorce papers and made me go out since the apartment was his, and he bought it before we even got married. So yeah, I tried going to my parents, but they were so disappointed in me that they didn't allow me to stay there. No one was near me. I was all alone. And I had no choice but to stay in a small hotel until I found a small apartment outside the city. I needed a job to pay for everything, so I got the first one that I found. It was very difficult for me to get a decent job since James destroyed my reputation, so I am now working as a sales representative in a boutique. Hard to believe, but I need the money. I don't have a social life anymore. It is all destroyed. Everything is destroyed, and I am just trying to take it day by day and just win my family back. But I know I deserved what I got. What I did was very wrong, and I am now suffering the consequences. Please, guys, go easy on me because I am already going through a lot. And just for the ones that are curious, Daniel also got divorced from his wife, but I never heard from him again. I never want to hear from him again because I know he was a mistake. I don't know if my husband did talk to him at any moment, but I don't want to know anymore. I just want to focus on myself and have my life back. Thank you for reading my story, Sarah.